this set address to that. Like you could just write a SQL statement. If it's in Redshift, that might be workable. If you have like a much bigger data, like the data is in S3 buckets, it's in these Parquet files, you may not be able to do that. You may have to find out when the mistake started and literally rerun your pipeline from that point forward. It's very costly, but it's like it's a very common solution to that. Just kind of like brute force backfill. There are other ways to do this, like there are things like Delta Table or Hootie or Iceberg. These are technologies built on top of data lakes that allows you to have more transactional you can update them essentially, so you don't have to do this like backfill because it's not just in files. Again, they don't. I wouldn't expect them to ask you any of this stuff. It's nice for you to know, and if it comes across the topic, you mentioned this, it might be brownie points. But the focus should be just have a clear thought of like, if I ask you like, here's my business, how would you design the data model? You have to give me something that'll work. It doesn't have to be detailed. It just has to make sense. Like I wanna figure out how many, on average, how much my orders are. So like, how would you design the table for that? And like, what other tables would you need to do that?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I know what I should do. Like I should be strategic on what example I want to give, in like be very detailed from the beginning, because if I was all over the place in the beginning, it's harder to go into details as in metrics and
Yeah.
tables, records.
Have a plan for what you're gonna say for like these type of examples. Like think
Yes.
of common situations like, delivery system, a
Mm-hmm.
movie, or like Amazon's like sales, right? Like just have a couple of these. They're all pretty much gonna be very similar anyways,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and just go through in a couple of examples like, here's this table, here's this table, here's this table, and then I would like just be able to report some basic metric like revenue over time, like day over day revenue increases. How would you report that?
Yeah.
You said what was the department you were going to? Like was it retail
No, it's a supply chain
or
innovation. So
supply chain?
they deals with warehouse and delayed shipping. Like 1 day shipping, fulfillment center. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So I think for those guys, probably understanding like capacity, how much capacity warehouses have is going to be top of mind. So like, and it is essentially, it is a delivery system. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
DoorDash. You have
Yeah.
order and shipment. So that's actually a good fit for that.
Yep.
Um, and they may ask you some pseudo SQL. Like again, I highly doubt they're gonna ask to execute anything. Did they have you execute on the first round?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, so they probably won't have you execute anything again. Then but they may have you write pseudo SQL. Like now that given this fact table, like how would you figure this out?
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Gotcha. I'm just taking notes.
they will. Yeah, like they do. It's so wide. Like sometimes they may ask you for things like running averages. They may ask you for things um, do you know what a frame is? In like what do you know window functions, right?
Yeah. What do you frame, like a Windows?
Like window function, like a group by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what it is.
Like so within and actually not group by is not the right way. So like
Partition.
let's say you have like you know a sum over some sort of a value like partition by and order by, right? So you have that. There's also a feature of that called a frame, like
Oh, I don't know
so.
what that is.
So when you do a window function,
Mm-hmm.
there's an implied frame of like what the window, how big that window or that frame is, because it typically applies to your current row and any of the row behind it.
Oh yeah,
Preceding
like a
rows of the current row.
preceding and
Yeah.
Oh, that's called a
Yeah,
frame. I thought it's just a window, like a
the one
sliding window.
before that is the window. That's the frame. Yeah, and then
Ah,
so they may ask some questions about that leverage that. It's rare, but it's been asked before.
yeah, like a running total 7 day, 30 days. That you have to use a frame.
Yeah, yeah. So they will again. It's so random with Amazon, like what different teams will ask, but I would say that's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I came across this SQL question the other day, and it kind of it kind of opened my eyes, like because for some table the day is not continuous as assumption, like if
mhm,
there are some days that there's no sales at all, um and if you want to do a running total, set it a 7 days for example, then you have to consider about the continuity of your dates. So in that case, if we care about continuous, then we should have a like a like a day CTE that you generate a series of continuous dates, and then you join back to your sales table, and then you can do a running total.
yeah. Or you could have a dimension table, right? A date dimension table.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
for sure,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, if that's can be a good question for them to probe me, like how would you model this data to for easier report. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's another one. They might also throw you some like conditional joins, like you're not just only joining on keys, but there's some sort of condition, or like this equals that, or that doesn't equal that. Um,
Yeah,
that
like the.
that may happen.
Mhm.
So try to find first some examples where I'm sure you're probably seeing some on the like leak code and data strat,
Yeah.
uh, or strat scratch where they have like conditional joins.
Yeah, like
Um,
the like not equal, but like less than or larger than, right? Like an imbalance join.
yes, yeah, yeah. They'll have they'll. I'm very positive they'll throw at least one of those, some sort of imbalance join. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think overall, my only feedback, I think you understand like the SQL aspect of things. My overall is like trying to tie your data modeling to something very specific. Like have a very specific example in mind when
Mm.
you explain it, and just focus and then explain that, so that you can tie that back to like reality and tie it to a business outcome or some sort of case. It's just easier to communicate with them that way, and yeah, and then you get to dictate like what's gonna happen, because they're asking questions on your like set path, instead of them just coming
Mm-hmm.
up with random questions that may or may not even apply to what you were thinking.
Mm. Okay. Yes. Gotcha. Yeah. I think that's super helpful, and yeah, you're right. Like having a very detailed plans, then I can drive the conversation to what I know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Having like, I will say, knowing a way of doing something is better than like, it's like you don't need to know like the right way, you just need to have a way of doing it, and that's better than like trying to hunt and peck for different things that, like just trying to answer the immediate question. Like their questions are always kind of building to something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's typically kind of like this chain of thought is that they're looking for.
Mm. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and again, I would my advice: take the bank job. Yeah, don't don't like don't. Yeah, Amazon's not that glamorous. Once you go inside, you'll see it's not that much better than a bank.
Yeah, my other friend told me that if you take the Amazon job, your next year is gonna be extremely unpleasant, but hopefully that will lead to better doors. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess that's the best way to go about it because um, yeah, company's not gonna care about you. So I'll take any offer that comes to me first, and then if I get the Amazon one as well, then I can decide what to tell people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, does it happen common at Amazon, like they reschedule interview? Like they gave me a date. They gave me a
Yeah.
date
It,
for May 20th. And then now they come back
it
to me and say that,
happens.
oh, I couldn't schedule because some interviewers aren't free.
Yeah. It's like it's five